What is going on, everybody? Coming to you live from the PGA show here in Orlando. A lot of cool stuff going on, and a missing empty seat.
Yeah, what happened to our co-host? Where's our co-host at?
Well, no, the co-host. You still are the co-host.
I'm moving up. If there's an empty seat, I'm coming over.
And we have a celebrity sit-in.
Celebrity? Yeah. I don't think so, but I appreciate it. I found you guys.
Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. You look a little different than your normal co-host.
Yeah,
a little bit different.
200 and some pounds
Not
lighter.
as athletic.
Not from Africa.
Can't move as fast. I don't speak multiple languages.
All of the
Not
above.
very adventurous on food.
Let's real quick lay down. I mean, we still need to. We just started. We got to talk about UFC last weekend, but let's talk about who is on the show today.
Okay.
All right. So coming up momentarily, your new best friend,
Peter Holman.
Peter Holman will be here now.
He's your best friend.
Isn't his dad the bowling guy that does the?
It's Pete Weber.
Oh, okay.
Completely different guy.
Yeah.
But they do the same movement for functional fitness.
That could be. Bottom of the hour, somebody you may have heard of, legendary. You know I hate that word.
You do use the word often.
Legendary co-frontman of KISS, Paul Stanley.
That's crazy.
Going to be on today. This may be one of the biggies. This is massive.
That's a huge.
Well, you know, and I put a thing out, and I do owe some Renaissance tickets to somebody who did guess. I said, you know, go ahead and guess who you think it's going to be. The word is legend, and when it comes to band, arguably one of my favorite bands. And my favorite bands would be narrowed down to like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So one person. Well, then I can't ever use it again, but obviously KISS and REO and REO Speedway.
Is it Twisted Sister?
No.
Well, what's the guy from Safety Club?
Cheap Trick.
Yeah. Robin Zander.
Robin Zander. Cheap Trick is up there because of Robin Zander, but I have always been a KISS fan. I got to go see him a couple years ago, so having Paul Stanley on, unbelievable. All right, the rest, Tom Shea, a local golfer who helped me win numerous golf tournaments over the years.
Okay.
Well, you know, my group, and I can't say foursome, it was probably my eightsome, because I would move in and out.
That's an A squad and a B squad.
No, I have 2 A squads.
Oh no, if they didn't make the cut, no pun intended, then they're the B squad.
Yeah.
They didn't make the putt?
Yeah, there you go. No, the cut was good too.
Wow.
But that's not really the case. Fortunately, I was never put in a situation of all 8 were available. You know, because who do you take? Most of them are scratch golfers. You know, most of them are PGA players. So it was crazy back then, and that was even before I knew the legend we know as Steve Monroe, better known as Tiger. Hate to say it, but he would probably be number 1 always.
So when I first joined this network, you guys had all kinds of golf scrambles, and I haven't been invited to one yet.
You couldn't make it.
What do you mean?
Where did I stutter?
You mean 4 people?
Did you join us in the Murray Harris Invitational?
Even one of us isn't here, so there's an open spot. Put me in, coach.
You could never make my foursome. You could never make my eightsome. You could never make the round of 164.
I've been training. I've been swinging. I've been clubbing. Is that what they call it? Clubbing?
Yeah. Now, in the second hour, if you somehow come to me and say the only way that our second hour guest, Martin Bergemeyer, will come is if I include you, then I would let you ride along with us.
Oh, nice. I drive the car.
I believe he is the reigning long drive champion.
So you've now just added someone else to the list.
Yeah, but I'm the driver, and if I can deliver a pizza, I can deliver you guys.
Not even an honorable mention.
Returning to the show, she's been on numerous times leading up to the PGA show, and now with us broadcasting live in Phoenix, you know, the waste management tournament's going on out there, so we may run out there. Jane,
16.
She's on 16?
No, hole 16 is where you want to go with the waste management open.
Is that the John Daly?
That's the party where they throw beer cans after the tee off, they're cheering, they're pumping the crowd up. That's where you want to go.
The Adam Sandler one.
Yes. Yeah. TPC Scottsdale.
So Jane from Daphne, head cover, she's been on, like I said, numerous times. And then I'm not sure if I responded, but possibly coming to talk pickleball will be LPGA major champion Sherry Steinhauer. So action-packed from start to finish, and your guest is already late.
Well, it's always a great to be at the expo.
That one went right over his head.
No. I mean, my guess, look, you make an invite, you can't drag them to the promised land.
can't get him off whatever the machine is called.
Yeah, his heart
working
rate's too
out.
high. You can't come and talk.
All right, while we do have time to talk about it, last Saturday in Rio, UFC 2612.
Or 268.
Did you watch any of it?
I did not.
You know, it was, I mean, emotional is not the right word, but for two legends of the sport, back to early days, Shogun Rua announces his retirement, you know, after his fight, as well as Glover Teixeira as well. A lot of people felt the fight should have been stopped. A lot of people felt that Glover's corner should have stopped it. A lot of people felt doctors, referees, fans from the stands should have stopped it. I'm curious, you know, what your thoughts, even though you didn't watch it.
Well, I saw the aftermath.
It's still Glover Teixeira.
And it's the latest, and that's my guy. That's Pete. That's the guy, the man of the hour.
Better get-
But I think Teixeira, he took way too many punches. There's no reason to take that kind of abuse at this stage of the game. He's not going to be, you know, when he once was. And I think he was smart. He said he was too strong, too tough for his own good, and that he's ready to retire because it's the smartest thing to do at this point.
The problem with that, though, is he knew that announcement before the fight.
You think he knew he was going to retire?
Absolutely. I think that he knew that if he lost, he would retire. So if you go into a fight that way,
Well, Shogun Hula. I mean, you don't
All
think
of them.
you don't think the UFC put these guys in a position where they can lay their love down in their home country after they've sacrificed their body of life and career to the sport?
Not with Glover, because he's fighting for the title.
But he's still fighting in Brazil at home, so he can retire with honor and dignity in front of his side of his
So
country.
you think if he would have won, that he still would have retired?
Well, no.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
That goes back to, like, even a loser will keep going if they're winning, because, like, you know, you can't be a champion until after you've been beaten to see what you're really made of.
Speaking of a loser,
I'm not a loser. We have a champion next to us. We have a USA Taekwondo Master champion, Pete Holman. Welcome to the program, Pete.
My man.
Dude, my guy. So look,
how did you respond to him? How did you even let him stay in your booth?
He's my guy from day one, right
my
there.
God.
He jumps.
well, here's the thing. Big guys.
He doesn't. You don't know him yet.
Big guys, there's a mutual respect between other men where it's like, hey, I know what it takes for you to achieve that. I know what it takes for you to, like, build that physique and maintain it. So there's, like, automatic camaraderie that comes about just the lifestyle that we live.
But more than that, I saw it in your eyes. I saw something in your eyes. Man, he's got a twinkle in his eyes. I don't know what his background is, and then when I found out you were a fighter, I'm like, oh, there it is.
I just threw up a little in my mouth.
Hey, we can have bro crushes. It's okay.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. So give us a little on your background.
Well, I was on the U.S. National Taekwondo team many moons ago and just fell in love with martial arts. And I competed kickboxing, tough man boxing, smoker tournaments all over the place, and became a physical therapist, a strength coach, and then wanted to share my passion and love for health and fitness and wellness with the rest of the world, and really kind of started developing fitness products that could be utilized by people all over the world to get healthy and strong.
And that's where I was going to go with it. You know, MMA is our love, Knockout Radio. We talk all sports, but MMA is the passion. We're at the PGA Golf Show, and I didn't quite understand the connection, MMA and Taekwondo at PGA.
Yeah, I mean, you think about rotational athletes all have a little bit of a love for one another. You look at NFL quarterback throwing 70 yards downfield. I mean, rotational spiral energy is the key.
I'm not familiar with that because Brady couldn't throw it from the 15-yard line into the stands.
Boy.
So I don't know what 70 yards would be.
I'm from Denver. We got Russell Wilson, so don't give me your slack about
That's
time.
where the love romance is between the two of you.
In the
All
Mile
right.
High City, baby.
Okay, so God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just rotational athletes and martial artists, if you think about it, they're some of the best athletes in the world. Maybe a gymnast might be comparable, as far as speed, explosiveness, flexibility, endurance, stamina. All those aspects of athleticism have to come together to fruition to have you be a champion. It's not easy. And plus, you're getting shelled every round. I mean, you're getting hit. So imagine a gymnast having stones thrown at them as they're doing the pole vault. I mean, that's what MMA is.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, well,
That would be interesting. Now, I do want to say I'm a little disappointed in you, and we just met. I just saw a photo on Facebook, and Matt's doing something stupid, and you didn't kick him in the head.
I'd be happy to kick him in the head.
I would love that. Then we become friends.
Is he going to return fire, though?
So I've already put the photo. So I got to be on the receiving end.
man.
For those of you that are listening, I got to be the student instead of the trainer. Usually I'm on the other spectrum.
That's right.
To learn new things about spinal flexation and rotation and driving your hips through the golf swings. And so your fitness device that you invented, talk about it. Talk about what it is, how it works.
The GolfForever swing trainer. Imagine it's a bar with an elastic resistance cord connected to one side. When you anchor the resistance cord, you have an asymmetrical load. So imagine like a hockey stick, and you've got a support cord on one side. You start pushing it and pulling it and rotating it, and all of a sudden you've got these diagonal spiral lines going through your body. Every core muscle is lit up from your pelvic girdle up through your trunk, through your shoulders, and you get that loaded kinetic potential energy that all boxers, all mixed martial artists have to store and transfer into their target. That's how you get power. That's why Bruce Lee at 145 pounds could knock dudes out. And he, think about his mass. He's got Newtonian physics. It goes against all the laws of Newtonian physics. He's a small guy, doesn't have a lot of mass, but he's got explosiveness through the hips.
So what would a workout entail using your device?
Well, what I like to do, I think about a rotisserie chicken, right? You're facing.
So do I.
Yeah. Hey, we're focused on it. Come on, keep it right. So I like to face the anchor point, and you're getting into pulling exercises, which work your back and your posterior spiral lines. I like to get side facing, and you're working on rotational moves, and then. If you start to add explosiveness and speed into the end ranges, now you get that explosive rotational power, and that's what mixed martial arts is all about.
All right, so, and I'm being serious here. So I get what that would do for PGA golfers, MMA fighters. I'm not even going to say Matt because then his head would really explode. But, what about short, fat, old people? People that are not athletic.
Well, one of the things it does is when you have an asymmetrical load on your body, you have to lower your center of gravity. It's just a natural reflexive response. People feel unbalanced, like you're on a subway that's translating left and right. What do? You lower your center of mass. The same thing here with the swing trainer. You lower your center of mass, and that instantly puts you in an athletic position. Then as soon as you accept load, you're activating your core muscles. Most people, they do sit-ups, they don't feel it. They do spinal extension, they don't feel it. This, you feel every muscle light up, and then when you feel it, you have that impetus to like, hey, I'm feeling something. This is working for me. I'm going to get benefit out of it.
The one reason why I don't like doing things like that, and I'm clowning.
You're really selling the product
No,
well.
I'm going to sell it for you. This is what I'm saying. The reason I don't like doing it is because after I do something like that, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat that full rotisserie chicken. So these items are great for that.
Well, listen, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make exercise accessible and have some level of fun. When you're in functional golf type positions, it's funner to train. Right. Who wants to do a leg press and deadlifts and bicep curls? You want to do something sexy and fun. You want to get rotating and balanced and look like an athlete. You want to start swing training.
What I love about I have a home studio gym that I built out. It's state of the art. It's comparable to a commercial gym you would see anywhere. What I love about it is that you can use this on a door hanger, door to door, anchor it to a point. You can do this at home, you can do it on the road, you can do it outdoors, you can do it anywhere.
It anchors anywhere, and you can also loop this resistance cord. The end of the cord loops around a tree, a fence post, a railing, and as long as it snaps on, as long as you have a solid anchor point.
The feeling I got my obliques, like the stretch that I got, like just the movement and mobility, I just feel open, I feel connected. Well, it's unreal.
Do you have, I would assume, but we know what assume means, do you have an app, do you have a system, and explain to people you should do that, kind of like a training session?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So we have an app, but what's unique about our app is there's an assessment tool. So on day one, you take an assessment. We look at balance, we look at core strength, we look at mobility, and we put you into a group. And that group spits you into a cohort of exercises that have appropriate progressions throughout the program. So if you test really high, we've got a bunch of college golf teams. They're testing very high in the assessment. So it spits them into this tough cohort where they're off day one, they're hitting the ground running with hard exercises, tougher progressions, more intensity, more volume, less rest periods. If you are 72 years old and you've had some injuries and you've got some balance challenges, it spits you into a different cohort and you progress appropriately.
How long time-wise, would a normal session be?
So there's two workouts. There's a fundamental warm-up which is a 15-minute, just kind of stretching, feel-good workout. And then there's a rotational power workout, and those vary between 20 minutes and 30 minutes, depending, again, on your cohort. 20 minutes on the easier side, 30 minutes. And there's some instructional time. It's not 20 minutes gung-ho.
And 20 minutes is doable. You know, for anybody, an athlete or somebody like me that doesn't really enjoy working out, but wants that feeling like I did work out.
And by the way, you can modify the intensity in real time. There's 2 different levels of resistance cord. So there's a medium level and a light level, and you can also step further away from the anchor. There's a lot of things you can do, move at higher velocities to make it harder or easier. So you can get, an elite level athlete in 20 minutes, and you know this better than anybody.
No, he doesn't. You said elite.
Yeah, of course.
You can smoke yourself, in 20 minutes doing these rotational moves. It's
I
unbelievable.
smoke myself at the workout. He smokes rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, very true, very true. Now, I'd love to see some of the UFC guys, do a training session in something like this.
I mean, back in the day, I had a similar product. I was with TRX, a different company, and we had a similar product. And I remember training Brian Stan and a lot of the UFC guys back then, Jake Shields, and like old school guys in TRX in San Francisco. And they loved it because instantly it challenged their balance, it challenged their posture, and then of course it gave them that rotational power that everybody wants.
How can people get the more information? How can they purchase? Website?
Yeah, we're at golfforever.com. It's real simple, golfforever.com. You can take a look at the app. We've got some pretty hot shot golfers right now. We've got Justin Leonard and Scotty Scheffler and Zach Johnson just joined. He's the head of the not Masters this year. Why am I having a brain? No. The Ryder Cup. He's the Ryder Cup team captain this year.
Small team.
Yeah. So, which is really cool. Like he's leading the whole U.S. into this Ryder Cup, and it's very strategic. So we're really excited to have Zach Johnson on board as well.
Awesome. We appreciate your time. Let's stay in touch.
Appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing, and knock them
We'll
out.
stay in touch, man. Come through.
You have a much better chance of talking to Knucklehead. You have a much better chance of me trying this than that ice bath thing you want to do.
True. But we'll get you to do both.
No, I'll do this. I'll do this. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
I
guys. Appreciate
it.
you.
All right, let's go hit a break. And there's only one way that we can move on from Pete. I mean, Pete just blew this thing up, killed it. Only one person can follow, and that would be Paul Stanley from KISS when we return. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Steps.
So I'm